Hello class and welcome to another lesson in programming in Java. In this lesson we'll be covering conditional statements. So I know in our previous lesson we already covered a very fundamental conditional statement, and that's the if statement. So we use conditions, right, or Boolean expressions, or conditional expressions, whatever you want to call them, inside those statements, right, to control our code and make decisions. Well, in this lesson, we'll take a much deeper dive in this control structure and learn how we can branch off to many different scenarios and situations in our code. So here are some of the topics we'll be covering. Logical operators. So we learned arithmetic, we learned relational operators. Relational operators hugely important to Boolean expressions. But logical operators, they're going to help us make our expressions even more complex, chain them together so that we can accomplish exactly what we're trying to do with our code. So conditional statements, of course, will be one of the core topics, and then we'll also discuss scope in relation to these structures. So for our introduction, it's really just going to be review. So of course, a Java statement, right? That's when you tell Java to do something, right? It's a single unit of execution. That could be a declaration, expression, control structure. Control structures are conditional statements, right? They're the same thing. They control the direction of our code. So expression statements. So this is going to perform an action like assignment, maybe calling on a method or changing the value of an existing variable. Of course, you have Boolean expressions. So the three components, right, are values that you want to compare. You need the relational operators to actually make the comparison. And now, if you want to make those expressions even longer, chain them together, make them more complex, you can use logical operators, which we're going to be covering in the next video. And then, of course, operators. So the different kinds of operators, like I said, we covered arithmetic, we covered relational. Today we'll be covering logical. And I'll do a quick look at ternary. It's not required content for the class, but it doesn't hurt to take a look. And then last thing we're going to review here for our introduction is relational operators. These are all the operators we're going to be using throughout our Boolean expressions. So yeah, you definitely reference this table, right? It'll take some time, right, for you to remember everything, to avoid some of those common mistakes, right? Sometimes we just do one equal sign instead of two. Sometimes we double up on the equal sign and the not equals. Just little mistakes like that, right? But the more you use it, the better you'll be at catching those common mistakes. So next up is going to be our logical operators.